Hello there. I just tried to record something and a couple of deer came through and was getting eaten by bugs. So, anyway, I'm going to try to be somewhat short about how I go about this because it's a bit of a more emotional type of update or video today. I'm sitting here in my garden. It's at the end of today's Wednesday, September 11, 2024. And so this day naturally has lots of energy that, comes up for a lot of us. And I've just had a day that's been difficult since the time it's actually been difficult for the last few days for a multitude of reasons. Um, where, the earthly needs and the earthly relationships and difficult conversations and just challenges abound. And, you find yourself at the end of one of these days and you feel pretty wiped. So I thought I'd come on because I guess I am probably not the only one having some time like this. Um, so I'm getting at this idea that Pluto's, I've said in these repeatedly about these 2 months ahead of us, really, where Pluto is finishing up in Capricorn and will eventually make its way into Aquarius. And then it's going to be a challenging couple months. And, I think it's the obvious of an election year can be where we might focus our attention, but I'm pretty focused on all my interpersonal relationships and a lot of the people around me and what they're dealing with, former clients, or I should say patients, and then my current clients and what people are dealing with. It's a lot. It's a lot, and I we have to come at this from a different perspective if we want to survive it in some ways. At least that's my belief. I don't put that on you, but I encourage you to really, really, really consider conserving your energy and how you're using it out in the world and being super mindful of that and being kind to people because you have no idea what people are going through. I assume everyone is going through a hard time when I talk to them. I really do because I have a life of people coming to me when they're going through a hard time, so I'm used to that dynamic. And so it's like learning to communicate with love, even when things are really difficult to say and realize and have to face. So in my own world, that has looked like I've had to have really some challenging conversations in my work environment. I've had to have some challenging conversations in my friend environment. I've had to have, and in my family, there's, just a variety of things that are going on that really have you quickly face certain aspects of your own mortality. Um, and there's a way that we can be about that I don't think is always celebrated. And there's a particular person, I'm going to not name who they are. There's someone I have not actually met in person, but we've gotten to know each other over the years through Facebook, ironically. And she is going through her husband is in hospice at the, end stages of, I believe, Lewy body dementia. And do my best not to cry in this video. Um, but there's a slow degradation of someone through that process, And this particular human has just been so loving and putting that love on display on social media. There's the stages that they are going through and the little secrets of their language and their love relationship. And he had lost his ability to speak a few weeks ago, but today he happened to be able to push out, which, someone at that stage to get words out, any words, is exorbitantly difficult. It like requires screaming. And he was able to recognize his partner and say some really key words that were significant for them. And I just thought how precious this thing we call life is when we're between worlds and when we have to say goodbye to our beloveds and we have to make difficult choices and to then put that on display and share. I don't know if I've seen anything more beautiful. Beauty to me is not about aesthetics. Beauty to me is about authenticity and reality and what's required, to live and die. And I've had a friend who's young, who recently had a stroke, and he should not have made it. I mean, he's kind of like a miracle. And he just sent us a video as a support group for him. And he sent us a video with him speaking, and this person is one of the most spirited, generous, loving humans I've ever had the opportunity to meet in my life. And to also see him, compromised, but also living and able to communicate and share what's going on in his world with us is a miracle and beautiful. And then, I've just had to have a lot of conversations with people that I love, and yet, that is not enough to to make everything okay in our relationships. And I'm at a point in my life where I can't be in a position where I do or don't know how someone feels about me, or if I'm unsure about them, or if I've been, treated in a certain way. And while I know in my heart of hearts no one is looking to mistreat me or be unkind or even prioritize me. Like I understand that we all have only the capacity we have, to be who we are and come forth with others with whatever we have or don't have. And that having expectations on people is painful for myself and for them, whether a friendship or partnership in any case. And that's in business or personal, and it's in my case in all of the above. And so, then you have to say goodbye, and you have to let go of people when they and you are no longer really supporting each other, because I find that this time we're in right now is vital for us to get what we each need to get. And we need to really face ourselves. And there's a lot of ways that we have codependent tendencies with each other, and those codependent tendencies don't allow each other to grow beyond where we are. And so sometimes we have to make difficult choices to leave things, even if nothing is inherently wrong, but it's also not serving anymore. And so then you have to say goodbye to people that you love and that you enjoy, being with and spending time with and you have a history with. And that's difficult, and then there's news that you're going to get around people's health around you in general, and that's going on in my life. And you get into these states of realizing, we just don't know when we're going, and we don't know when someone else is going. And so it's really important that we become conscious of that, because everyone around you is going through something difficult right now. I have no doubt every one of us is going through something difficult. You can't be living in this world with the conditions of this world and not be challenged. Our realities are not what we think they are anymore. What we were told or raised with, we're realizing that we've kind of been lied to about a lot of things. And in that process, it's pit us against each other in so many ways. This vile way of me versus you and red versus blue and all this crap. It's crap. It's all made up, by the way. It's like literally made up. And when I went online today, here I am thinking it's September 11th and I'm going to see all the September 11th posts. But no, I instead saw such childish, sometimes vile, disgusting behavior between one human to another over people they don't even know, and I don't even know how they trust. I don't know how you would trust anyone in the political field right now. I mean, there's not a lot of evidence that anybody has got our best interest at heart. And the fact that a debate, for instance, is not an opportunity for, it used to be an opportunity for two candidates to come up and debate. And at the end of the debate, there were solutions. There were like illuminations from that act based on how they debated, like, yes, this and that, and what did you think about that? And, and that's not what I haven't watched it. I won't watch it. I don't participate in this stuff anymore. Does nothing. It doesn't change anything for me. It just makes me more discouraged as to how blind people have become to the truth of our government and our realities here. And it upsets me that so many are putting so much energy into two humans instead of into new systems that we can build on our own. They're not going to get built by them, just so you know. One of those candidates has been in office for 4 years. The other one was in office the previous 4 years. They have track records that show that our experience and quality of life has not improved here. So, my question for everybody is, why are you putting your energy into that? Who has convinced you they are your saviors? Who has convinced you that, that that they're being honest about anything? We live in such a marketed world. How are you naive to that? And I mean this with love. I really do. I really want you to start thinking about this. Because if you're turning on your neighbors who are actually dealing with some incredibly difficult things, and you're calling them names and calling them stupid and how could you this and how could you that and blah, 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 and because they, honestly, shut up. If you don't have anything nice to say, please don't say anything at all. If you don't have a way of helping people break through illusions and delusions, or speaking truth from a place that also isn't pointing the finger at a particular group of people. Like right now, I'm pointing my finger at a group of people, and I got to be mindful of that. It's the group of people that are enamored with our political system. And then people will say, well, you really don't have to a lot of things. Many people are behind on this deconditioning process that many of us have been going through for a while now. A lot of us, the illusions of this world started dropping in, 2018, 2019, 2020. I think actually even earlier than that for most of us. For me, it started very early, especially when I started learning Eastern philosophy And when I started studying about the Chinese Revolution and how so much was stripped out of education in the medical education in the Eastern traditions by government. So, and now we have, like I had a friend last night concerned about her daughter came home from school with, having heard one of her classmates was threatened to shoot up the school today. And like, this is what people are dealing with at home, and yet everybody is spending their energy in this way on these puppets. So I just wanted to share with you right from my heart that this is not a time to get even more vested in those sides. It's a time to get vested in your neighbors. It's a time to get vested in your family and in your children's lives and in your own life. And I'm going to tell you, we're going to be facing some difficult truths about what is, and we're going to be facing just a lot of fear, I think, because of what we're not used to. Many of you have been getting ready to lead this next movement. I'm one of them. I'm claiming that as someone who's really spent a lot of time dissecting so much of this stuff over the last 4 to 6 years. And then having had the opportunity to treat so many people from so many walks of life, and realize, like, I'm going to engage in the real world, not in the one that's imaginary, or that's where people are telling me how I should think or what I should think. That's dangerous. It's very dangerous. 2 options, dangerous. Extremely dangerous. Why? Because of what you're seeing. It's quite literal, like civil war today online. You don't think that's going to turn even, like, how are you all going to deal when your side doesn't win? I know what it looked like in 2016 in Portland, Oregon, and I was in a community clinic, and I thought people were going to go off the deep end. I, like, literally thought they were going to go off the deep end. So now things are even more ramped up. So how are you going to react? And if your side doesn't win? What are you teaching your children if your side doesn't win, and how to react to that? So I just want you to start thinking about this, because while y'all are doing that, our children are watching us, and we're going to lose them. We're going to lose them. Whether that's because they are literally going to be signing up for the military, or because they are not going to want to be around you, or because they're resentful of how much time we spent fighting instead of actually putting in infrastructures for the future, so they had a future to live into. And the fact that you're going to wait for politicians to do that in their final time, where they get paid lifetime salaries, there is no interest in moving quickly on your behalf. They're going to be getting paid no matter what. But the people who are, I had a patient or client today whose father is in a memory care facility because, again, dementia is our new type 3 diabetes, and it's everywhere because of our lifestyles, because of the things within our food, because of all kinds of things that are causing dementia. And we don't have facilities to help people appropriately anymore. We don't have the right staffing in hospitals and these facilities anymore. So until it hits your home and your life, will you realize what I'm talking about? But I sit with someone sitting in front of me, whether on a screen or in person, consistently dealing with these things. I had nurses galore in my private practice that were, during COVID, were like, people don't have any idea what's going on in those hospitals, and what was going on in those hospitals, and what they were witnessing and being hushed about. And now here we are 4 years later, and a lot of the concerns many of us had about the approach we were taking, whether that's because of the experimental injection or that is because of the fact that we were forcing people in the house to drink more, and now we've got an epidemic of alcoholism going on, and drug abuse, and whether it's opioids or fentanyl, or we've got people coming out and shooting people because nobody's mentally stable, because doing the approach we did was not humane. And humans don't do well in many different environments, and we push them into pretty much multiple environments and multiple circumstances that were not healthy. And so now we're going to be starting to see just as many people probably dying from everything that period caused in our society. People are not financially secure. Businesses are closing left and right. Schools, academic schools are closing. As I said, I have so many friends that left the hospitals. So you're going to keep talking at the screen and about these people that are somewhere that are not in your immediate local environment, and you've got people suffering on your block, I have no doubt, in ways you can't imagine. So I'm going to ask you to grow up with this behavior online and figure out a new way to communicate some perspective that respects people and that realizes that everybody is dealing with stuff right now. It's not just you. We need to be loving to each other, even when we disagree. We need to be loving when we need to part ways. And if you don't want to be, you don't have to be, but you're not helping anybody by not. Mostly yourself. So that's what I have today. I'm sorry if this is a bit of a heavier one, but the truth is there's probably going to be more of these in these couple months, because this is the reality of what we're facing in the infrastructure of our world here, at least in the United States right now. And I just wanted to tell you that if you're going through it, I'm sending you love. I'm sending you love. And I'm sending you strength, and I'm sending you clarity, and I'm sending you faith and trust that whatever happens, it will be okay. We will, wherever we are all going at the end of this existence, it's going to be okay. But while you're here, do your best. Be kind to people, please. All right, I think that's all I got. Sending you all love and peace.